Hello everyone, this is Itzhak from the IMTC Blog. We are here with Video guys. They're going to tell us about their product, their mobile platform. Can you do a short introduction of yourself?
Absolutely. I'm Mark Noble. I'm the Director of Product Marketing here at Video. And with us today, Marty.
I'm Marty Hollander. I'm connecting in from California on a laptop, and I work on a variety of things related to the marketing and market development.
And Carrie?
Hi, I'm Carrie. I'm also coming in from my laptop in California, and I work with Mark and Marty on PR and also on marketing. So nice to see you.
Thanks, Carrie.
Cool. I'm here in Israel, by the way, near Tel Aviv. I'm in my home right now. From a home connection with 1 megabyte upload, very, the normal type of connection that we have here in Israel. This is the most common one. Can you tell us a bit about Vidyo Mobile?
Absolutely, and just to expand on your point there, it's like all of us are connected from our home offices right now. I'm in New Jersey, Marty and Carrie are both in California, and we're all flowing over the public internet. Vidyo Mobile is basically taking the same software-based solution that we have for desktop, for room-based appliances and such, and bringing it to the mobile form factor, which, if I can get this right, I'm going to pull this down a little bit so you can see it better. This is an iPad3 connected over 4G wireless. Oops. Let me get back out of there for a moment. Tapping up on the screen doesn't help a whole lot. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and launch Vidyo Mobile by tapping on the icon at the bottom. And I get to get rid of the keyboard here. And I'm going to just go ahead and join Marty's room. Can you see this okay?
Yes.
I'm going to join Marty's room by tapping on this button here. And this is where the conference is taking place. We'll mute the audio so we don't get the feedback. But here you see a 4-up continuous presence happening very much with the same low latency and high quality that we're experiencing on the desktops. That also extends all the way out to room systems and immersive telepresence, and provides us with some unique capabilities. Since each stream is independent, I can, for example, decide that I don't want to see my self view and send that down to the dock and just have the other 3 active participants. I can also decide that I want to have Itzhak as the primary speaker here and pop you up, and I can also go ahead and center you if I want to. I've got a lot of capability. If I wanted to take a look at the game that's happening behind you, I can go ahead and zoom in a little bit, do the pinch to zoom, and see that content a little bit better. I can see some zombies hanging out back there, and move you over. So there's a lot of capability, and again, the performance that you're seeing right now is all taking place over wide area wireless. This is 4G LTE that you're seeing. So you are no longer now constrained to the office network in order to have that low latency, high quality performance, delivering up to HD content on the mobile device. So the other one that I'll show you while we're here, this is I'm going to drop that one for a moment. This one is the iPhone 4S, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a quick look up here and find Marty's room. And there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and tap that and join the room in very much the same way. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mute that. I'm going to take the names off of here for a moment. And again, I'm going to go ahead and send my video away so you don't get the looping video effect. But then you get all the same benefits all the way down to the handheld mobile form factor that you have on the iPad and such. So full control over layouts. You can show up to 4 participants concurrently, and this is pocket-sized mobility.
So what is the difference between the desktop version and the mobile version of Vidyo?
That's a great question. So for beginners, the mobile version is an all-in-one client today, meaning that your call control capability and the client itself is in one unified application. At the desktop, we end up with a control portal, if you will. So it's web-based access to the portal, and you have an existing client for the in-call experience and such. You'll see over time, you'll see both of them move to the same approach and modality of single client, unified client. The other thing is from an access perspective. Video Desktop supports a really powerful technology that you use to join this call today, which is guest linking. The ability to simply click on a hypertext link to go ahead and join this virtual room. That capability isn't there on the mobile today, but will be very soon, so that'll help to bring it up into parity. The desktop, of course, is able to display and render more concurrent video streams than the mobile can. So the mobile will support up to 4 concurrent video streams on screen. If there's more participants than that in the call, they'll voice switch out. And you'll also have a participant dock. So you'll see all the other folks down in the participant dock that you can scroll through. So if there's somebody specific you want to see, even if they're not talking, you can select them and promote them up onto the rendered screen. On the desktop, we can support up to 8 concurrent participant views, again with the ability to voice switch out if somebody new has something to add to the call. So while the infrastructure supports, up to hundreds of people concurrently in a video conference, you'll render up to 8 of them on the desktop and voice switch out. And of course, content sharing capability is there. From the desktop perspective, you can share content in and view. Multiple people can be sharing content at the same time, and you can select which content you want to look at. On the mobile device is view only from a content perspective today, but also has that same capability of looking at all the content that's being shared and selecting which one you want to pull up. And of course, with the multi-touch capability, with the pinch to zoom on the content is really great. So even if somebody is sharing in something as small like an Excel spreadsheet, you can still make full use out of the relatively small screen real estate in like a handheld mobile.
So it's safe to say that basically the experience is very, very similar.
Exactly right. So basically what we've done is married together super high quality video with the ease of access, convenience, and simplicity of web-based services, so that the user experience becomes one that's very familiar to them, not something that's intimidating or difficult to use, and yet they still achieve that low latency, high quality video, HD video experience that they're looking for, so that the technology fades away and people can focus upon the discussion at hand like we are right now.
Yeah, I think one thing to recognize is that we had a continuum of endpoints from desktop through room systems. We extended it up to a large number of multi-screens in a room, such video panorama is 9, and we moved down to personal mobile devices that are going to work on wireless networks, and all of those use the same software base running on whatever the general purpose processor of that device. So the beauty is that any particular participant in this call, or in a call that could take that whole range, is acting as a first-class participant. Video, Mark is showing here an example of everything from a smartphone up to a 9-screen room system, and even there's a 4-screen iMac that can show 4 simultaneous 720p full resolution at HD on a single screen. The key here is the underlying architecture which enables this. So if you notice, even though you're in Israel, Mark's in New Jersey, Terry and I are in California, we can have an interactive, natural conversation. It's because there is no transcoding. Unlike any other system that you're going to find that could do that range of diverse resolutions, diverse processors, we enable that with this new architecture, which completely changes the economics and the quality of video conferencing. And then utilizing the codec that we use, H.264 scalable video coding, which is now becoming widely adopted, and we'll see announcements on that in terms of many vendors beginning to move towards this new codec. That enables us to provide higher resiliency over lossy networks such as what we're all using.
Besides the mobile client, what is the main advantage you would say that Video have compared to other competitors? Is that H.264? Is that...
No, so the secret sauce is exactly what Marty was just talking about. It's really all about that architecture, because by changing the game on the architecture and getting away from that centralized processing of the MCU that's doing all the heavy-duty lifting and the video processing and such, and now pushing that out to distributed endpoints and having the capability to network together now the video routers to form this fabric, if you will, of widely distributed multi-point infrastructure. What you've done is you've achieved the capability to, number one, localize traffic in each of the locations where you have user densities. So that means that you're consuming less WAN bandwidth. Number two, of course, with the underlying technology being what it is with adaptive video layering, we're able to leverage dirt cheap bandwidth in the first place. So not only are we using less of it, but we're using less costly bandwidth. Number three, you have now in place an architecture that can scale up to very large numbers of endpoints, which is important because if you think about the history of video conferencing, where you started with just room-based systems, you had 12 people gathered around a table on one side and 12 people on the other side, connected in point-to-point, consuming 0 MCU ports. Now you take each of those people and for workflow reasons, give them their own personal endpoint connecting to that same call. We're talking about 24 concurrent connections into multi-point. The MCU doesn't scale in terms of cost, the economics, and it doesn't scale technically because with all that processing happening at the core, it becomes very expensive. And the DSP-based hardware and such becomes onerous to maintain and deploy. With a software-based solution in the infrastructure, your scale now, of course, is on x86 type platforms and becomes virtualizable so that it can become just another application in the enterprise like any other application, managed and maintained the same way. And you have all the benefits of being able to now have very great agility in terms of spinning up infrastructure wherever in the world you may need. Anywhere that has an internet connection and cloud computing resources, you have the capability to do that. So there's a lot of value in there.
How do you see mobile video in, let's say, a year from now?
The mobile video is going to become ubiquitous. The adoption rate on the mobile side is ramping up faster than we would have expected. Mobile, in reality, has only been available less than a year now on these devices. And between the rates of downloads out of the app stores and the new applications that we're seeing popping up, and I'll give you a perfect example. In the healthcare space, we have physicians that have called me and written to me about all the cool things that they're doing with the with Video Mobile. One physician was on his way home from the hospital, gets a call to come back to perform a consult. Instead, he pulled over to the side of the road, pulled out his iPad, and at the time it was before the iPad3, had a MiFi hotspot that he utilized, was able to connect into the call within moments, and had a 10-minute consultation, closed it up, and was able to continue on his way. He says, that's game-changing for me. It saved me an hour. And an hour of a physician's time is huge, right? Identically, I was also told in another scenario where the doctor said, look, we can cut down the time to service patients by replacing desktop phones in the nurse's station with iPad, with Video Mobile running on them. And he had all the short contact lists to the different physicians on there so that the nurse just had to go ahead and tap on the physician's name in order to go ahead and get connected to them. and then she can actually walk the physician right into the patient's room. So these are the types of game-changing applications that the mobile enables, and this true workflow integration that you experience on this very simple device that people aren't afraid to use really makes video pop in a big way for a lot of different applications.
But basically, mobile video isn't a new thing. So we had a lot of experience with mobile video from one phone to another phone. That didn't really succeed in the market that well. What's different today than back then?
Yeah, go ahead, Marty.
So I think the first thing that's really different is the tablet is different than a phone, and they're both mobile devices. I think the tablet form factor changes how people perceive the quality of video. The screen is large enough to see someone in great detail, but it's also large enough to be able to have multiple people and to even share content. I think the major change that's occurring is that the tablet makes it not merely, I can call mom, I can actually, do business on this, and so it becomes a work device. The second thing is that people are now bringing those devices to work and expecting them to be part of their own workflow. So it involves IT. While the phone was there, I don't think IT took seriously that the phone was the video endpoint. The tablet, though, is a serious video endpoint. And then the third thing is that as you see that now this forces the concept of a personal endpoint, you realize that you need to have a multi-point infrastructure that works. You need to have a solution that will work over wireless networks. So the MPLS network that you had for room systems is not appropriate. And so maybe the solution and the technology has to change to fit the endpoints that people are going to use. And then finally, as Mark pointed out, the cost structure of going from small numbers of rooms that generally are point-to-point to a few that are really multi-point, now to large numbers of individuals connecting in a multi-point call, drives the need for affordable and scalable architecture in that multi-point context. And that's what video has had all along. It's really been the assumption. We started off thinking, well, of course it'll be laptops, and desktops, but, as time has evolved, the tablet has become a credible personal endpoint for video.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's just the burgeoning and maturing of the ubiquitous broadband wireless technology, right? 4G on the iPad is a game changer, because now, as you saw on the iPad when I held it up, you get as good, if not better, performance over 4G LTE as you do on Wi-Fi. And the nice part about it is, forget about whatever restrictions there are on the corporate network. You can completely bypass it now by going out over the 4G LTE stuff. So that's part of the ecosystem that's come to bear that really helps to change the game here as well.
When are we going to see high definition on mobile devices? Just of encoding, no decoding.
Yeah. So two things will happen. Number one is video acceleration on the hardware platform will certainly help. The second thing will be the move to quad-core processors, which you've already started to see happen. The camera resolutions will increase. You've seen a lot of focus on the rear cameras, as evidenced in the new iPad. You'll see some more focus on the front-facing cameras as well going forward. And as those things come into place, you'll see the environment ripe for encoding HD off of the mobile devices.
So there's encoding, but there's displaying. So today, if you have multiple participants, that iPad3 has a display that will enable you to see HD. So on there's HD in both directions that you have to consider. Most people are going to require it more so on the receive side because you're going to have multiple participants, and that will exceed, a fixed screen resolution of one person. Are you okay? Mark's joining you. Are you going to show what? You're muted, Mark, on your.
My apologies.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling it back in so I can show you what we've got here. And let me do this. I'm going to just pull up a single video stream here. See if we can show this. Let me pull up Terry. Let's see. Go like that. All right, so I'm doing some manipulation here in order to get a single participant up on the screen. But when you have one participant up on the screen, full screen, you can get 720p. When you have 4 people up on the screen, each of the individuals will be basically 360p, so the whole screen is still 720p. So you still get HD decode on the screen. And like Marty said, so on the decode side, HD is already here on the mobile device. On the encode side, will be coming shortly.
How is the iPad3 in Master? If you know.
So the iPad3, a couple of neat things about the iPad3. Obviously, built-in LTE is huge for us. You know, being able to access that LTE anytime, anywhere, just makes an already easy experience even that much easier, and ensuring the high quality.
It's a different experience, LTE versus the older generation network?
Absolutely, no question, no question. 4G LTE, number one, is optimized for low latency, so it's right in line with our direction with regard to the video conferencing infrastructure. And number two, it has plenty of bandwidth so that you can encode, decode, HD over it, no problem. So the pipe is there now, which is great. The other thing about it, of course, is the Retina display. And where that really comes to bear is when you are sharing very high resolution content into the call. It has 4 times basically the resolution of what you experienced on the iPad 2. And our system will enable you to send that very high definition, greater than 1080p quality content into the call. And the iPad.
So basically, when sharing desktop, presentation, stuff like that, we're talking about HD content.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So you're able to end up with 3 megapixel resolution images of shared content coming through on the iPad that you can then pinch to zoom in on, and it's an amazing experience.
And Itzhak, as you've probably realized, we've been on this call for 30 minutes. And given the distances we're doing over this variety of networks, you've noticed now the quality of the call.
The quality is amazing. I can say the quality is amazing, and the fact that it didn't stuck at all. It was fluid. I'm getting you on high definition. I can clearly see that.
Well,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll do it again. We must test the mobile client. I also try to do a mobile call later on with you if you are available via a car. We'll drive and use the older generation 3G network. It will be very cool to see if it works. So thank you.
Sure.
Thank
very
you.
Good. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.